Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well today. Today we'll be continuing our reading of Aether Wuld, starting from Chapter 3, Utoso Eride. Thump, thump, thump. Marin's heartbeat echoed in her ears as she knelt in the mud. Her crystal amulet dangled from her neck, flickering between purple and green as it caught the moonlight. She stared into bits of black stone, each piece so dark it was as if pockets of the world had vanished. She swatted them away, her hands trembling. What un grove, she said, and water rose from the mud. Marin cupped it in her hands and rubbed at the blood staining her arms. She rubbed and rubbed, but it wouldn't come off. You promised me, Ro. You said this excavation trip would be fun, and that they wouldn't be able to see us. But they did. You didn't listen to me. And now you're... Blood me hot, why? Why? She muttered. She shoved her hands into the dirt. This can't be happening. I tried to warn you. I tried. Marin continued to rub her hands through the mud. Why won't it come off? Tears streamed down her face. Come off already, she begged. A white eyeball unfurled in the shadows. I could help with that, it said, projecting its voice even without a mouth. The eyeball transformed into a brown-skinned human, with white eyes and hair that swayed from side to side. All you have to do is return the amulet you stole. She clutched the amulet, staring at the man. You killed Mehat, let him bleed out in my arms, and now you accuse me of stealing? Who do you think you are? Who I think I am doesn't matter. I am, now, and always have been. Arkvadas extended his arm. Return the amulet, and you can reunite with your love. I promise. Marin stared at the open palm. Arkvadas sighed. Please don't make this difficult. Everything has been leading up to this from the moment you pillaged the temple. I feel your pain, but you become a danger to yourself and those around you. I did kill your lover, that is true, but it only became necessary because you stole the amulet. Another eyeball unfurled in the darkness. Then another, by the tens, hundreds, millions. All watching, staring at Marin. She stared back. I see. So it was you all along. You're the ones I was trying to warn my husband about. He told me I was just seeing things. That you weren't really there. But I saw. I saw. Her eyes grew wild. And I knew from the very beginning. I knew. She focused on the man. It was always you watching us. Don't misunderstand. I won't. She clutched the amulet. Because I understand everything. I won't let you have anything else. You robbed me of my love. But I won't let you rob me of anyone else. She squeezed the amulet as it embedded itself into her skin. Grov und fear, und spiri, und what, und lit, und und shod, und rock, und enyer, und det, und tiem, tespiri o Aether Wuld prog me hot. He slowly reached out to her. You don't even understand how to use it. Stop before you destroy. Ymir jolted awake, shrieking, No! Doc squawked as he fell off a chair, dropping his avian-like mask and food. He pulled his hat down in front of his scarred beak. Ah! Please do not look! Ymir shielded her eyes and reached for his mask, handing it to him. She mumbled an apology. The curtains were shut, and her room's ceiling was lit by dim globals of light attached to runes inscribed into the stone. She waited for him to fasten his mask before looking at the small doctor. I didn't say anything. It's all right, my friend. Just please give me a moment. Doc took out a device that looked like a beetle and placed two of its legs in his ears. He pulled on the opposite end, stretching until it was the length of his forearm, and placed it on Ymir's back. Take a deep breath for me. Ymir did as she was told and gently ran her fingers over the welt on the back of her head. What happened? You fell from atop the tower and you've been unconscious for several days. But you needn't worry. Everyone's fine for the time being. Chroma had been watching over you until I forced her to go eat. Is she okay? She's perfectly fine. You're the one who fell. Please, let me focus. He removed the antenna and slid them back into the device. Doc folded the gadget and began pressing it gently into her chest, her back, and her arms, tapping it periodically. He sighed and folded the device. Anything? She asked. Well, the good news is there doesn't appear to be any lasting injuries. And the bad news? Ymir asked. Regarding your health, there is none, Doc chirped. Aside from the welt on your head, you appear to have sustained only minor injuries that will heal on their own. But you are unconscious for much longer than you should have been. He leaned back in the chair with a sigh. Perhaps I need to reevaluate my notes on Jinn anatomy, or perhaps... Doc cocked his head at Ymir. Ymir, how are you feeling spiritually? Right now I think I feel fine, but before I fell, not so great. She ran her fingers along the side of her head. It felt like... She paused, thinking. Like the world was pressing down on me, and all I could do was try to stay conscious. It was as if Aether Wuld itself was panicking, and then I had a dream, but I can't remember what it was about. She pressed a thumb against her forehead, urging the memories to come forward. Doc picked up the pieces of food he dropped. Have you ever experienced that feeling before? Once, but it was in my coming-of-age ceremony when I was placed into Aether's hat to feel the world's breath. But that was peaceful. This time felt wrong. Where are Marin and Ro? They should be back by now. Marin could better describe the sensation I felt on top of the tower. She would have felt it too. Doc took a deep breath. They have yet to return and aren't responding to any communications bells. Ymir furrowed her brows. What do you mean they... Why didn't you tell me sooner? She rose from her bed and rummaged through her clothes. Doc, you know they're never off schedule. What if they're in trouble? She fumbled for her shirt and dropped it. What if Monkin raided us as a distraction? No. Doc raised his arms, looking up at Ymir. Please, calm yourself. You just woke up. I could not have told you any sooner. Don't tell me to calm myself, Doc. She glared at him. What were you doing this whole time? Doc guided Ymir back to her chair. I've been looking over the city, and as my duty. I sent out several scouts, including Tostra. They should report back today, so please do not take your frustration out on me. I'm just as worried as you are. But there's only so much I can do on my own. I'm not a fighter, nor an expert in spellcraft. I'm a medical professional. They chose me to fill the role of head council member. If I'm being honest, I don't know how Marin does this so effortlessly, but I promise you, no one is idly standing by. Ymir balled her hands into fists and relaxed them. You're right, I'm sorry. Doc chirped. You need not apologize, my friend. Your frustration isn't unjustified. Ymir gave him a sad smile. If they're supposed to return today, I'll go away to stables for them. Am I cleared to leave? Doc nodded. If something bigger is at play, I can handle the management of the city. You focus on making sure they're safe. Not that you need it, but you are officially granted freedom of movement. Act as you deem necessary. But, please, Doc added as Ymir placed her hand on the door. Be careful. And that's it for Chapter 3. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye for now.